The roots of California's farming families grow deep. This is the heritage of our heartland.
I'm Madalena Riboli. I'm married to Steve Riboli.
My name is Steve Riboli. I'm the second generation of the San Antonio Winery. My uncle started this winery in 1917.
My name's Steve Riboli, third generation at San Antonio Winery, and we've got a great story to tell you.
What started out as a weekend hobby by Italian immigrant Santo Cambianica has now turned into a multi-million-dollar success story, thanks to one dedicated Los Angeles family.
Uncle Santo came looking for opportunities here in the great new city of Los Angeles. So he came, and his employment at the time was working for the largest employer, which was the Southern Pacific Railroad.
On the weekend, he started as hobby, he started this little winery by the name San Antonio. And he named it after the saint of San Antonio de Padua.
Santo's micro winery began in a rented garage, not only to make a little extra money, but also to keep his European dining traditions alive.
In Italy, they used to make the little wine. They had a little grape. They know how to do it. And all these brothers together, and all the relatives, they came over at that time. They had to have a glass of wine with their meals. And so that's how he started this little winery.
But just 3 short years into his new business,
this crazy law comes, and it's called Prohibition. Frankly, these Europeans had no concept about it. They said, how could the government create a law that would take away one of our food products? You know, wine was at every meal.
the center of California winemaking came to a crashing halt as winemakers in LA began closing down. But Santo's strong ties to the Catholic Church saved him from going belly up.
Within a very, very short period of time, he begins supplying them wines for the sacrament.
By 1938, running this winery alone was taking its toll on the Italian immigrant. That's when he called his nephew for help.
The first day I arrived here, he put me to work.
When Steve married Madalena in 1946, all three worked hard to come up with creative ways to keep the winery in business.
So my uncle and my dad put their heads together and they said, well, what can we do to survive?
In those days, they were all people that came from Europe, and the people, they drink wine with their meal every day.
My great uncle and my dad were just super hard-working men, but my mother was truly the visionary for the company.
And I would pour a little taste, and I said if I'd give them a taste and they like it, they would buy it.
And so we became the first winery in the state to have a wine tasting room.
And that's how we survive.
After Santo passed away, his winery was left in the hands of Steve and Madalena. Together, the couple expanded and bought vineyards in Paso Robles, Monterey, and Napa.
Well, first of all, we bought the best grapes, and we have vineyards ourselves.
With the expansion of vineyards up north came changes to the original winery in LA, adding a restaurant in Madalena's name, plus a bigger wine tasting room.
The darker a red wine is, it's because the longer they ferment it.
Now the third and fourth generations of Ribolis are working together to keep this family business competitive and successful.
And here's the next generation of the company. Here's Anthony, my nephew, fantastic winemaker, super talented young man. Here's Michael, and Michael is a super salesman. He's probably going to take over for what I do as a marketer of the company.
The family is now producing 5 million bottles of wine a year.
Do you ever think about that your family is doing it a lot harder than other families in California because you have a huge operation here down in Los Angeles, right, but then half of your other operation is up north in Napa and Paso Robles. Going back and forth, where some guys are just staying in one location. How do you...
You know, Jennifer, it's a good question, and we've been able to manage it. It is tough, I won't kid you. We do visit our vineyards real often. Every couple weeks, we're at our vineyards, and during harvest, we're there every day. The plus side is we're in the middle of 14 million people here.
For the Ribolis, carrying on their uncle's winemaking traditions and strong family values is a given. and will ensure that this little winery and their family tree will continue to grow.
If he were here now to see things like that, I don't think he'll believe it. From the little garage that we start and what we have now, we've been lucky.